And so, as was mentioned, as Karen mentioned, we do celebrate a lot of the holidays. Throughout this month, every Sunday, we're focusing on something different. And this month, we're really drawing out what is the spiritual gift that is in the holidays. And of course, the holidays have started with a vengeance already, haven't they? Holy mackerel. I think I first heard my first Christmas song, I think it was November 12th on the radio. I was like, okay, it's a little early. And I think they were selling Christmas stuff, man, in October, weren't they? Oh, okay, in September even. Okay, so I am a Christmas nut. I'm also a Christmas snob. Nothing should start before Thanksgiving. Be that as it may, so some of us do not enter into the holidays with joy and Thanksgiving. And sometimes the holidays are challenging. And I know that my mother passed away in November, my father passed away in December. In the years in which they passed away really impacted the holidays for me. And so we always want to take the time to acknowledge that sometimes the light feels dim for us in the holidays. And it can be annoying when everybody else is cheerful and you feel like you're supposed to be cheerful and you're supposed to be all in the spirit and you're not. And part of what we do in our spiritual teaching is that we decide that it's okay where we are. We may not want to stay there. We may decide that we want to move to a new place in consciousness, in feeling, or in thought. But it really is important for us to acknowledge the experience that we're having, the human experience and the feelings that are associated with that. Those particular holidays were really difficult for me because I am a Christmas nut. And part of the reason why I'm a Christmas nut is because of my mother. My mother made Christmas magic for us at home. That we had all kinds of German rituals. It was all very well orchestrated. It was beautiful. It was special, lots of little special things that my mother did. And I grew up thinking that that was how the holidays were supposed to be. It wasn't until I was well into my teens, maybe even into my 20s, that I remember having a conversation with my mom. Wow, I love the holidays. I loved everything. When I have kids, I'm going to do exactly the same thing that you did. I'm going to do all that. I'm going to make it magic because it was magical. And my mother shared with me that the reason that she put so much effort and attention into making the holidays magical for us was because her mother hated the holidays. Her mother found the holidays a burden. There was too much work. There was too many expectations. This was in Germany in the 1930s, and it was between the wars. And her mother was a bah humbug around the holidays, and she felt like she missed out. And she was bound and determined that her children were not going to have that experience. And we didn't, because she made that kind of an effort. And yet not all of us have had that experience, right? She didn't have that experience. For her, the holidays were challenging. And so sometimes the holidays are challenging systemically. Sometimes they are challenged because of a particular event that's happening in that particular year, whether it's the loss of somebody we love, whether our work situation has changed, whether we feel overwhelmed by what's going on in the world, whether we're frightened about the things that are going on outside of us. There can be lots of reasons that we can move into the holidays not feeling particularly joyful. And part of the way in which we deal with those kinds of feelings is that we acknowledge them. We let them be okay. We let them be simply part of the experience that we're having. Because pushing them away, ignoring them, denying them, or pretending to be all sparkly and happy simply allows those feelings to grow in a unhealthy way. And so we do here, somewhere between the middle of November and the beginning of December, we always do this blue holiday ritual. And it's an opportunity for you, for all of us, to just acknowledge if there is that kind of experience going on. So we have 5 candles up here, and I'm going to light them one at a time and tell you what each candle is about. We have candles in honor of people who serve in uniform. We have a candle for the loss of loved ones in our lives. For distance from family is another candle, whether by choice or simply finances. We have a candle for challenges in our own personal life and challenges in the world. So we have 5 candles. And when the candle that speaks to you is mentioned, then I'm going to invite you to come up here and light the one of these sticks off that candle, and then light one of the votives. Some of the votives may be a challenge to light, so if it doesn't light, quickly, just let it go and stick it back in. Somebody else will light it. They will eventually mostly get lit. Not everyone is in the situation of being challenged by the holidays. And so what those of us who are not challenged by the holidays get to do is we get to be the space for people, right? So we don't need them to be different than they are. We don't need to go, well, why aren't you being all positive? And what's the matter with your consciousness? Or any of those kinds of things, right? Because we know better. And yet we can not only hold the space, but we can also be about our joy and commitment. And so we have 2 candles about love and about how we want to be in the world. And when those candles are lit, for those of us who do not have a challenge at the holidays, either systemically or situationally, then there are candles over here to come up and light so that we can surround our challenges with the light and the love that we choose to be in the world. Okay? While we're having the ritual, Oscar and Scott are going to be doing music for us. Yeah. So I just invite you to just move into an open space, right? I invite you to open your heart. I invite you to be wherever it is that you are, be with whatever it is that you're with, as we think about this season that's coming up, and we're moving into it. If our light is dim today, we let it be okay. Because we know that the light can't be dimmed. Truthfully, can't be dimmed. We're always lifted in some beautiful way. So our first candle we light for those who serve, whether they serve in the military, whether they serve as first responders, whether they wear a uniform as police officers, firefighters, for all those who serve. So if you would like to light a candle for a service person, maybe they're still in service, maybe they have lost their life in service, maybe they're not here because they are in service someplace, please come and light a candle. So our second candle is in memory of those who have made their transition and whom we have personally lost this past year or perhaps in a previous year, whose loss we still feel with grief in our hearts. All those who can't be with us this particular Christmas. We offer our tears in a testament to our love. So if you are grieving the loss of someone who will not be celebrating the holidays with you this year, please come forward and light a candle.
I'm so glad you joined us today. That makes you a part of CSLDallas, and we love that our community continues to grow. And we also love to give great spiritual content. And a way that you can participate in our community is financially give to it. It's easy to do so. Go to CSLDallas.org and hit the give button. Or you can set up a text giving mechanism at 972-954-4404, a safe and secure way to send us money whenever you watch a great message like this. So thanks for giving, and buckle up, because here comes the spiritual content.
So we light our third candle for being separated from family. Sometimes that separation is due to finances and distance. Other times that separation is by choice, either ours or theirs. And there are people who we are distant from this holiday season that we wish we were not distant from. And so if you are not able to be with family for some reason this holiday season and would like to light a candle for your grief and your sorrow, please come up and light it from the third candle. Sometimes our separation isn't through death or distance. Sometimes our separation is through the pain of loss, of divorce, betrayal, mental illness, other things that allow people to actually be very close in proximity to us, but still no longer part of our own lives. Our hearts grieve when we have experienced this kind of loss. And sometimes it's difficult to allow it to be exactly what it is. So if you are in pain this holiday season due to loss or grief from divorce, separation, betrayal, abuse, mental illness, or other things that affect a family, we light this fourth candle that we may share our tears and our grief together. If this candle speaks to you today, please come and light your candle off this fourth candle. We light this fifth candle to acknowledge our experiences of discrimination, our frayed sense of security, the violence in our communities, or a loss of hope for the future of our planet. When our faith is tested and our joy in the holidays may actually feel inappropriate. And so if this is something that you are challenged by this holiday season, we light our fifth candle in acknowledgement that these challenges exist in our life and our world. And if you are finding this challenging this holiday season, please come and light a candle off of this fifth candle. we are raised? We're raised by the light. We're raised by the acknowledgement of truth, that this is how we feel. But the light doesn't go dim. It simply grows. And Karen and I, we have this conversation. We can't both go down at the same time, right? Because we have each other to lift each other up. We have each other to lift each other up. We have our consciousness. We have our spiritual teachings to lift us up and to remind us of truth. And some of us are standing there in that space of light and of love. And so we're going to light the other two candles here. And the first candle is for love. For the love that we have with our family and friends. For the love that we experience here at CSLDallas. For the love that we have for humanity and for the planet. So our first candle here is for love. The last candle for being is if we choose to be light in the world. If this holiday season we want to celebrate ourselves and all of those that are being light in the world. So for those of us who have been holding space, for those of us for whom the light is not dim at this moment, if you want to celebrate the love that you do have in your life, if you want to celebrate that love, that experience of connection, we're going to light this sixth candle. And I'm going to invite you to come up. If you have not lit a candle yet, I'm going to invite you to come up if you are going to light a love candle. Yes, perfect. You read my mind. And so we come to our last candle for the light that people are being in the world. For all the ways that people show up to be light, to be love, to heal hurts and to change the way in which we engage with each other and our planet. For the fact that love extends beyond just our own immediate family and friends. And it isn't only for us. Love is the answer because it is the wellspring of life itself. It is the impulse of evolution. It is the reason for being. And so if you are holding a space to be the light in the world, to celebrate those who are, to the best of their ability, being the light in the world. If this candle speaks to you today, please come forward and light a candle to be love as best we can.
When troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
the light we have now kindled inspire us to use our powers to heal and not harm, to help and not hinder, to bless and not curse, to serve you, O Spirit of freedom and light. How good it is to be raised up by truth, by light, by love, by each other. We are so blessed. We say together, and so it is.
And so it is.